let me tell you something. One day people are going to stop bringing you things.
Ah.
And then what are you going to do? Appreciate every gift you get.
Oh.
Mom! Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta. Today's guest has been chasing a fever dream for well into 3 decades. It's the one and only Philip Bailey, a.k.a. Cassie Phillips. Hi.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm so glad you're here.
I am so glad. I have been so excited ever since I got the phone call from you that this is just, it's fantastic.
It's been coming for a long, long time. It is definitely time. We work on these projects, this specific project, every year. I mean, literally every year, now into decades and decades.
Decades. We started in 1998.
Can you imagine?
I can't. I can't even believe that.
Before the turn of the century.
Yes.
Literally.
Before.
Yeah.
Betsy Ross designed the costumes for that first show that we did.
Yeah. And are we still using some of them?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You are the person who created, who writes, who produces, who directs, who presents Fantasies.
Fantasies.
Tell everybody about Fantasies.
Well, Fantasies is a nonstop laugh-a-minute female impersonation review. It was something that I came up with. It was kind of like a Judy Garland movie. You know, a friend of mine said, hey, I work at this theater and we're wondering if maybe you want to put a drag show together for it. And I mean, at that time, this is before Drag Race, and the only place you could see drag was Las Vegas and gay bars. That was where drag existed. And I just thought, boy, if we can do what we're doing on these little tiny makeshift stages, imagine what we could do on a big stage. And so when I got the offer, I just talked to a few of my friends and we're like, let's put on a show. Come on, we got a theater. Let's put on a show. And it was like 8 or 9 of us that put on a 3-hour show at that time. And it kind of fuses a kind of thin storyline of a entertainer who's been doing drag for many, many years, who's just kind of frustrated at the fact that drag is not taken as a serious art form. And he just says, you know, if somebody would just give me a chance, me and my friends would put on the biggest show anybody's ever seen. And as he starts to imagine this show, it comes to life in front. So it's a show within a show that's a drag show about drag entertainers who impersonate people. And it's just a fun show, Delta. It's just a fun show.
Yeah. It is a fun show. I mean, I've been fortunate enough for you to allow me to be in this show for now 20 years.
20 years. I think you did 2000 was your first one.
Yeah. And I think, going back to like the bar shows and, us knowing drag way prior to Drag Race or prior to Dragula or any of the fun things that we absolutely enjoy. This show features entertainers that are from this community that moved on and have established huge international careers, but in many cases are still able to, and not everyone's able to, but still able to find time to make time for this production.
Right. And it's, it still amazes me. Like every year I'm just, it really is kind of mind blowing because Raven got started in Fantasies.
Yeah.
You not got started, but was a part of Fantasies. You were a part of Fantasies. Morgan McMichaels was a part of Fantasies. Mayhem Miller was a part of Fantasies. Bobby DiCarlo, who opened for Dita Von Teese, was a part of Fantasies. All before your careers blew up. And yet I still get phone calls every single year from all of you that are available to come back and do this show in Riverside, for goodness sake. I mean, It just makes my heart warm.
It's like coming home though, because it's so
It is.
I don't think you really have to be there to understand the magic of it. That even though, you work on this for 6 months and people go into 2 to 3 months worth of rehearsal. And even if you're somebody who pops in day of, you really build your mind around the fact. I know I do. I build my mind around the fact that, okay, what time am I going to get there? And you want to get there as early as possible because you want to get your spot. You set up your makeup. And even though you're not putting that makeup on for another 12 hours, there's something magical about being in your community of the people. And what I love now is watching newer entertainers that I maybe have never even met, and you watch them and you're like, oh, remember when we would do this? Remember when we would do that? But to still get to be a part of it and to see like they are now laying these bricks too.
Yes.
They're adding to this.
They are now a Fant-A-She.
Yes, and it's so fierce. And so if you're watching this and you're hearing this, realize that this is the type of show where again, if you love Drag Race or any of the international drag that you get to see, you will get part of that, but you'll also get where that came from. When you come see a show like Fantasies in Riverside, which, by the way, if you've never been to Riverside, and specifically where this is, it is a pretty luxe, beautiful area. And the theater is beautiful. So historical.
The theater actually, when it was first built, Bob Hope used to perform there and entertain the troops when they were coming back from the war. And so Bob Hope was on that stage. And it's a very historic theater, but also just the area that it's in, right there with the Mission Inn. Gorgeous. And it's beautiful to come down, go out and have dinner, and then come to the show and get shit-faced and watch a bunch of men in dresses. It's a party.
It is a party.
It is a party. You remember the first celebrity you did in Fantasies?
Okay, wait. Let me think, because I wanted to say that it was. This is so embarrassing. I want to say that it was Kelly Osbourne.
It was Kelly Osbourne
when it was Papa Don't
Preach,
and it was like the spiky little hair. So I thought
it was the hot song at the time. I mean, she was hot at that time.
And then, do you remember it was Anna Nicole?
Yes. Oh God, I loved when you did Anna Nicole.
That was
fantastic.
That was so fun.
That was fantastic.
Back in the day.
And that's like what's fun about celebrity impersonation. It doesn't have to be like your standard. It could be who's hot now at this moment. They don't have to be singers. They don't have to use your imagination, build a number around this person that's famous for a minute, for a second. It's fun.
Remember Raven did that Paris Hilton for a long time, and it was so good. And other people have done Paris Hilton too, but at that time, in that moment, she was the one doing it. And it was just it was all about the way she moved her body and the kind of the way she did this with the hair. And it was just so dead on. I can remember so many different things from shows where, again, people would be involved in a show in a way that maybe they weren't considered the soloist or the star, but they stole that moment. I remember Vanity coming on to do Pink on the motorcycle, and Lisa the lesbian drove on in the motorcycle, and
drove her on.
To this day, everyone goes, oh, remember when Lisa fucking came on with the motorcycle?
Like, we've done like 30 shows, and people still ask me about that moment. I've been trying to get them to remove the roof so I could be lowered in by a helicopter, but I don't ever get what I want.
And it's not going to happen this year?
No, they
God.
won't. They refuse.
I know for you as a producer, you star in this show, you produce this show, you direct this show. Choreograph the show. How does your mind stay focused on show day?
Show day is, I don't remember. Like
I know you don't.
The next day, I don't remember if the show even happened or not. I have a really incredible team.
When you first started Fantasies, did you know it would go on to be this big and this long?
When we first started, like I said, it was just somebody, offered us the space, and we were not selling tickets. And plus there was no online back then. You had to come to the ticket booth and buy the tickets, and tickets weren't selling great. It was our friends and our families and everything that were buying tickets. Well, then the local newspaper heard about the show and came and did an article about it. And they wrote this article. It came out, I think, the Thursday before the show, which was on Saturday. That Friday, there was a line around the corner to buy tickets for the show. And it became this thing where it was, at that point, there was no crossover. You know, it was gay people watch drag queens unless you're in Vegas and you're really drunk. And this totally showed us that we would be able to cross over, that we could pull an audience, and that there was an interest there. And we almost sold out the theater.
Right.
So it's crazy. And, you know, the cast sells them to their family because a lot of their families aren't comfortable going to bars to see them. And maybe they have younger siblings or nieces and nephews. And there's no age limit. Everybody's welcome at Fantasies. And it's just a thing. I was telling the cast the other day that I want to share the experience that we had as entertainers, that when we walk out there, you're looking at your family standing up, cheering for you, and seeing you in a way that they never even imagined. Right. And that feeling that I got that first time, that feeling that all of us got, because the show really took off in 2000, when you joined the cast. And, you know, that feeling that we got, that feeling of pride, it changed something inside of me. It didn't change the way people looked at me. It changed the way I looked at myself, that I'm bigger than what I thought I was, that I'm capable of doing something that I never even thought I could. And that's what I want to share with all of these kids. That's why I invite so many new people to come and be a part. I want to share that feeling that I had 30 years ago and let them know that you are more. Drag race is not your only goal. You know, there is more to drag than just trying to be on Drag Race. And before any of the girls that are in the show were Rue girls, they were Fantasies.
Right.
And now you are too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's important to me because the legacy of drag and the stories of drag and the people that have come before it are important for these kids to know. It's not just the Rue girls. Thank God for RuPaul's Drag Race, because it's given careers to people that they never would have had before. And, you know, and that's wonderful to chase that dream, but that's not the only dream.
Right.
Every audience you're in front of, that's the dream. Those people deserve 100% that you would give if you were on Drag Race.
Right.
And in this space, on this stage, they have that chance to feel that they're bigger than they thought they could be.
Right. I don't think people are also aware the camaraderie that happens when it comes to costume design, makeup, hair. I remember last year, one of the kids came up to me and she said that she needed help with her wig. She had a Mariah Carey wig, and there was something was falling weird. And I thought, of course I'll help her like that. I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting there. And it's fun to meet somebody and realize that, like, you can share skill sets together.
Right. I mean, that person that you're talking about who came up to them, that probably meant so much to them. You know, that's probably something that they will remember forever, that Delta Work did this wig, but you were just being a sister.
It was fun. Yeah, we were having a good time.
We were all just being a sister.
Yeah, we're sitting on the ground eating jelly beans, like waiting for the day to happen. Right. And that's what happens at something like this. And I bet there are other places all over the country, maybe all over the world, that have the desire to do something like this, that have a group of people that say, we've got 5 of us and we want to do a show like this. What could you say to somebody out there that wants to do something like this?
If you want to do it and you have that drive, go for it. That's what we did. We just went for it. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. Right. I had never done anything like that before. None of us. I think Dolly Levi,
right.
She had done the movie The Birdcage, and she probably was the person in the show that had the most professional experience.
Right.
But the rest of us, we were just bar queens.
Right.
That's what we were. We stood up on top of, like, beer crates and dance for $1.
Right.
You know, and, you know, to get all of us together. And there was that feeling, we're working on something special. We're doing something. And it's, if you can do it, if you have the opportunity, all you have to do is do it.
I don't feel like I can really give people the full Fantasies experience and understanding, especially from the time when it was in its sort of infancy in a way. But there's a documentary about it. Yes.
Yes. We filmed it in, I believe it was 2003, either 2002 and then posted in 2003.
Yeah.
But it's on YouTube. You can see you, Raven, Morgan, Mayhem, all. I mean, Morgan and Mayhem were just backup girls.
Yeah.
They actually started as boy backup dancers in the show. But you get an inside look. The cameras followed us for 2.5 months, and it's a full-length documentary of Fantasies.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to post some clips of that and some links to that. I remember at the time the what would they call them? Cape girls. When you, because that's one of those hierarchy things.
Yeah,
if you were a Cape girl,
if you were a Cape girl,
you had a cute body.
Yes,
you were
that
young.
That meant that you could fit into the bikini.
That's
what it meant. That's all it meant, girl.
That's what it meant. And I can remember too, like that was a time when the girls would say, like, okay, the day of Fantasies, we're gonna set up and we're gonna go through and we're gonna do our run throughs, but then we're gonna go get our acrylic nails done. Remember, everybody had to get their nails done. And we were like, girl, you're gonna bite those off by the end of the night. You have no idea what you're doing, but it made them feel in the moment.
Pretty and
brand new heels.
Special. Yes.
Remember the big clear heels? And we were like, you're going to break your ass if you do not wear a single sole shoe.
Do you remember the year that Mayhem sprained her ankle?
Yes.
The day of the show.
Yes.
Her and Morgan or somebody thought it'd be funny to have a water fight, and she sprained her ankle so bad and still went on. She still went on and did Vogue.
Yeah.
She was the backup in Vogue.
Do you remember the when we used to do Dolly would do Strongest Suit, and there would be the fashion show. That was so fun.
The fashion walk,
The fashion walk.
Yeah, we did that just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And Raven came out.
I remember
during it, and it just, the audience just went crazy because she wasn't even scheduled to do that. It wasn't even like something that had been rehearsed or anything. She just said, "You're doing it. I want to walk out," and I'm like, "Go for it, bitch."
Yeah. There's something in the water in the IE. We need to talk about that. Let's take a break. Do you know what is not very Delta? Forgetting to cancel a subscription for years, and each month that passes, money is just being taken out of your bank account and you haven't noticed it. I totally forgot that I had subscribed to several streaming services that I never use, and thanks to Rocket Money, I was able to cancel them within the app with just a few taps. Rocket Money has automatic transaction categorization with customizable categories and tags to reveal your spending patterns. We all know my fast food category is poppin', but I didn't realize how much I was wasting on streaming services that I never used. Rocket Money also helps you set budgets and goals and provides you with personalized insights and regular reports about your money, which is extremely helpful. I love that all of this is easy to access in Rocket Money's intuitive app. Also, it's important to note that users who create a financial goal with Rocket Money save over $70 on average within the first 30 days. And you know what? Saving $70 is very Delta. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/verydelta. That's rocketmoney.com/verydelta. rocketmoney.com/verydelta. We are back with Cassie Phillips, Philip Bailey, or Cassie Phillips.
Yeah, either one.
Or
you can call me anything you want.
Can we call you Anne Margaret? Because I was saying earlier, you look like Anne Margaret right now.
Anne Margaret inspired my drag from the very, very beginning of it. I saw her like on the Merv Griffin show, or, you know, for all of you out there, that was a show that was like a talk show back in the 1800s. And I saw her, and I've never seen a woman more beautiful in my entire life. And I would go outside and I would pretend that I was Aunt Margaret
Oh,
and dance
I love
around my
that.
backyard. And
I love that.
that's why in the opening of Fantasies, the headdress that I wear has the red wig attached to it, which I never wear red hair, but it's my homage to Aunt Margaret.
Yeah, I love that.
Only I know that, but it makes me feel connected to her.
Well, there's people that, I mean, I think that a lot of entertainers have a thing that they do or say or keep in their makeup kit or whatever that other people might not understand. And you're like, it's just a thing.
It's just a thing.
This ring right here, I mean,
Mhm.
there's so many stones missing from it, but I don't know why I call this my lucky ring. And even if I don't wear it, I have to have it with me
Right.
in my jewelry
It's just
bag.
your thing.
And it's the cheapest ring on the planet. It probably costs nothing, but I've had it for probably, I mean, I don't know, 20 years or so. And it's
Yeah.
just a thing that you do.
I brought up the headdress at the beginning of Fantasies. I have worn the same headdress for every single show.
Wow.
I've redone the cap, because it falls apart. But the feathers, the beads, everything, I have worn that in every single Fantasies. And if that was to get lost, I don't think I would ever do it again.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get your lucky ring, girl. I
Yeah,
feel it.
it's
I
just a
feel your
thing.
ring. Yeah.
On the show, we like to fry the small fish.
Okay.
There's so many little problems out there that we know are tiny problems compared to
Mhm.
all the things going on in the world, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
really only have a handle on small things.
The small fish.
Are there any small fish going on in your life? It could be something happening at work. It could be in family. It could be at a restaurant that needs to be fried.
Well, I heard you talk about Carl's Jr.
Uh-huh.
and the price of the burgers. You went up to get a combo meal. I went to a place the other day
Okay.
and I ordered a pastrami sandwich.
Oh, okay. Keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. French fries
Uh-huh.
and a Diet Coke. $30.
And it was like a mom and pop kind of place, I bet.
And that wasn't even fish that had been fried. That was just fucking pastrami.
Right.
$30. Oh, you know what else is pissing me off? Let me tell you, this is a fish to fry. Who the hell is shrinking all the candy? Have
It
you
is
gotten
so small.
I got a box of bottle caps. Do you remember bottle caps?
do.
And they were shaped like, the caps on bottles and everything. They came in like Coke flavor, lemon lime flavor. I got a box. I was so excited. I opened it up. They were like this big. They were tiny.
Because it used to be like maybe the size of like a quarter to a 50-cent
Yes.
piece, like
Yes.
enough to sit on and take up your whole tongue.
Yes, this was like the size of a dime.
Yeah. Like
A
little
dime.
tiny little spots.
I got Good and Plenty's. And Good and Plenty's, they're good and plenty. They were the size of Tic Tacs. Girl, Tic Tacs.
Philip, we are really, 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 really old when we are referencing Good and Plenty and
Yeah.
bottle caps as
Maybe you're
two
old.
candies.
Maybe you're old.
Well, if I'm old, you're ancient.
I know.
Because you're
I know.
probably 6 months older than I am. No, but that's true. I went to a mom and pop, like a Gus Jr., like that kind of a place.
That's the kind of place this was. Yeah.
And I looked up at the menu and it said pastrami, market price. Girl, we're not at Market Broiler getting like halibut.
Market price?
Market price. Now, again, if you go to Market Broiler and you look and you just go, oh, the seafood, oh, the lobster is going to be market price.
Right.
Because it varies. It depends on where you can get it, when you can get
Right.
it in that moment. But for pastrami?
Can't you get pastrami anytime?
That's what I thought.
I don't know.
$30. I
$30.
remember it maxing out at 28, but I believe
Yeah.
30. Well, I mean, I got gas the other day and I went to the quote unquote cheapy gas place.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'll just say like, oh, I just go to my cheapy place. It was $70 and I was like, I don't even think I needed a full tank.
Right.
And I remember my producer Doug in the same conversation, he said, once I hit $80, I was like, that's going to have to be enough. He said, I took the hose out and I said, whatever that is, that's
However
where we're
much
going.
I have.
That's
Yeah.
where we're going.
That's how far we're driving.
I don't know
That's
what
it.
to fucking tell you, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's insane. It is. It's crazy. And it doesn't seem like, I honestly believe once prices go up, they don't come back down.
No, they don't.
They don't come back down. They just wait until you get used to that. And then they raise the price and you're like, God, I missed that $30 pastrami sandwich at market price.
This is 1,000% what I am saying. And I just can't hear anybody else say it. Like no one else is saying this. It is so true. When you said about the candy, I can remember, I think the cheapest I remember, maybe other people remember it cheaper.
Mhm.
I think the cheapest I remember was a regular size, say Snickers or any candy,
Right.
was 59 cents, and then the king size was 79 cents.
Yeah, I got you beat.
Okay, you
I remember
39
when
and
a
59.
candy bar, that was the big ticket item, and there was only one size of that. But a Snickers bar was 25 cents.
Oh, come on.
And
stop
that was
it.
that was the expensive
You're
candy.
lying.
I am not lying. I'm telling you, I used to go to
You're a
7-Eleven, and
You're a lizard.
you know Zots, the little
Yes,
like hard candy with the
yes.
fizzy stuff inside. They were a penny a piece.
Well, I do remember penny candy. We used to always get penny candy.
Man, that was the good old
Why is it so
days.
hard?
Why?
Why?
Why does candy got to shrink and the price goes up?
That's always been my thing. If you've got to up the price on something, up the price on it. That's fine. I get it. But don't take away some of it and then keep giving that. Fucking go out of business. I don't know what to tell you. Go out of business. The product is not that goddamn expensive.
Yeah, it's not. It's
But we're
not that
convinced-
expensive at all.
We've been convinced that it has to be.
And the prices go up and the burger patties get smaller.
Mm-hmm.
That fries my fish.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand what this frying the fish is now. Now you got me going.
There's a lot of it.
Now,
You can think about
I'm
this shit
frying
all the
some
time.
fish right now, girl.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
What is in the water in the Inland Empire? Because there are so many entertainers. A lot of people, when they hear of queens from LA, they'll say like, oh, I know all those queens. I've seen them when I'm in LA. And then I think, a good chunk of maybe 4 or 5 of your favorite LA drag race entertainers actually come from the Inland Empire.
Yeah.
And they actually kind of control a lot of that work. They foster a lot of work for people.
Yeah.
They get a lot of people working in locations. What is it about the IE? Because once upon a time, I don't know if they still have a Pride. Do you remember when Rue performed at the Pride?
I do remember that.
At Fairmont Park?
Totally
Or
remember
where the
that.
hell
No, it wasn't Fairmont Park. It was White's Park, which is right near downtown. Yeah.
Did they change the name of that, or is it still called White's Only Park? Because that's not good. That's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good. But that's
Fairmont
not true.
Park is the cruising park.
Yes, that's why it's so familiar to you.
That's why.
That's
I do
why.
remember that.
That's why. Yes.
Yeah.
Fairmont is where all the cruising happened. I don't know if it still does. But
Were you ever a cruising person?
not at Fairmont Park.
Okay.
But yes, I did my share of cruising.
Uh-huh.
Back in the days of cruising, you don't gotta cruise anymore.
No, you
It's
just
like
type it on your phone.
all these like apps and everything, which kind of takes the fun out of it if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
If you already know what you're getting, why do you gotta open the package?
I've never heard that before.
I just
Say
made
it
that up.
again. Say it there.
Now I don't remember what I said because
If you
I'm
already
old.
know what you're getting, why?
If you already know what you're getting, why do you got to open the package?
that is gold.
Isn't that? That's
That is
brilliant.
gold. It is. You are brilliant.
Oh, well,
but it
you
really
know.
makes a lot of sense.
No, it's true. It's like that was half the fun. Like you didn't know what you're going to get.
Right.
Just like Forrest Gump said, life is like a box of chocolate. Just like underwear. It's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, and you never know what the underwear is going to taste like.
Well,
either.
that's true. That's true.
Sometimes it's chocolatey.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
and that's,
Yeah. Or nutty and chocolatey, which could be
which could be my favorite.
It could be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. In the IE, the IE is a special place. It's
is.
very different than other places. If you're not from California, when people say the IE, we're talking about the Inland Empire. So we're talking about an area that is maybe 45-ish miles away, begins from
Yes.
LA, right?
Yes.
But there's a lot of San Gabriel Valley clubs that a lot of people throw into the IE
Yes.
just because it's along the 10. It's along the, because once upon a time, we're talking about VIPs in Riverside, the Menagerie.
There used to be the Lark.
The Lark.
The Lark, yes. The Lark.
Oh my God. What about West Side? Was it West Side 15 or 215?
Yeah, 215, which was a strip club.
Uh-huh.
That's still there.
Is it still there?
That's still there.
What about then when people, it's really San Gabriel Valley, but like Alibi East, right?
The Alibi. There was one where we used to do shows all the time.
Robbie's.
Robbie's. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Robbie's, and they do lump that in with the Inland Empire. The thing about the Inland Empire that's so wonderful is that you are 45 minutes away from everything.
Yes.
You're
yes.
45 minutes away from LA. You're 45 minutes away from Palm Springs. You're 45 minutes to Big Bear. You're 45 minutes to the beach. It's like you are in the center and you can just pick which direction to go and you're going to end up somewhere wonderful.
Right. And if you're a mall person, there's still 2 thriving malls in the area, which is Tyler Mall.
The Galleria at Tyler.
The Galleria at Tyler,
It's fancy now. It's fancy.
And Victoria Gardens is still legit.
Oh, and Ontario Mills.
Ontario Mills?
Yes.
Okay, so 3.
Yeah. I
So
was
they're
just
still
at Victoria
thriving.
Gardens just the other day.
It's thriving.
Yeah. I would not want to live anywhere else besides
Really?
the area that I live. I love it. I love the Inland Empire. I love Riverside.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful place.
It's beautiful. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people, again, like I say about the Inland Empires, each city kind of has its own vibe. And there's even people like on TikTok or Instagram that will do like characters from each area. So there'll be like a 25-year-old male character from each city. And you go, oh, that is very, very Miraloma.
Yes.
Oh, that is
Yes.
very.
Oh, he's very Fontana.
Yeah, you can tell
Yeah.
because you know these people, right?
Uh-huh.
And then there's somebody that'll do like a mom from each area, and you're like, oh, bitch, if that is not Hesperia, that is definitely. It's really fun to see that and to know that it's big, but it's also small in the sense that you know somebody from each and every one of those cities.
Yes.
Right? You
Yeah.
really do.
You
really
do.
And you've worked as in nightlife, not just as a producer of Fantasies, but you had your own show as Cassie's Capers, but then
Yes.
also as a bartender. So you've been
Yes.
in this industry for a long time.
I started drag at 15 years old.
Wow.
That was when I started doing drag was 1980.
Wow.
And I have worked in bars since. So I have spent my entire life inside bars.
Wow.
And I actually have worked at the same bar for 27 years as a bartender. And I do shows there also. And,
Yeah.
and so, but it's interesting because I've actually watched the twinks that would complain about the old men hitting on them turn in to the old men that the twinks are complaining about hitting on them.
Isn't that weird?
It's
Isn't that
crazy.
weird?
It's crazy. And I've stayed the same age the entire time. That's
I
what's
don't know.
amazing about it.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It is amazing, but
Yeah.
it can happen.
It can.
It can happen.
And it did.
It's the Anne Margaret in you.
It is the Anne Margaret in me.
It is.
I have a lot of like people that have really inspired me that I've had like close encounters with that have like inspired me over the years.
Really? Like who?
Well, one, Toady Fields.
Oh, I love
Toady
we know,
Fields.
We have a passion.
If you don't know who Toady Fields is, Toady Fields was one of the biggest female comedians of her time period, and she opened the door for other female comedians. She was hysterical. But when I immigrated here in 1966 from Belfast, Ireland, I came over and I was 6 months old, and Toady Fields carried me through the aisles of the plane. She was coming back from England on her England tour, and she carried me. And then, so growing up, whenever she would be on TV, my mom would say, "That's the woman who carried you on the plane. That's the woman." I don't remember her carrying me on the plane, but now I know because I was told every single time she was on TV,
Yeah.
which was a lot. And, and then my very first drag show that I went to, I walked in and the person who was going to become my drag mother came out on stage and was doing Toady Fields.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know. It's the worlds just collide.
That is insane.
I know. And so Toady Fields has this place. And so I feel it's my duty to make sure nobody ever forgets about Toady Fields and the fact that she carried me on a plane when I was a child.
Yeah.
But, because that's very important to her career. I don't know if she would have gone on to fame had she
wouldn't
not.
have.
I know.
No,
I know.
No.
I know. I
To-
know.
To know that she was carrying the future Anne Margaret.
Yeah.
I
hate you so much.
By the way, Toady Fields and Anne Margaret, the same age.
Yeah. Same age. Same
Exactly.
age.
I always think about like thematic stuff and we love the idea of like old school female impersonation because it's what we grew up with. And, you know, we absolutely love all kinds of drag, but we always revert to what we remember. So we talk about like your mom doing, or your drag mother doing Toady Fields. I can remember Marilyn from Dreamgirls doing Toady Fields and that being passed on. And once upon a time when we used to do drag, you know, if somebody did a character and you were friends with that person, they might say like, I'm going to pass this mix on to you.
Yes.
And it was something you treasured because you kept it on a CD. You didn't share it with anybody else. You were like, that's so-and-so's number. It was just a thing that we did. And then you would meet somebody else and you would go, oh, they do it, but they're from another area or they're from another group, another drag family.
Right.
So obviously somebody in their drag family does it too. Do you ever think about like, what if there was like a Fantasies Las Vegas and it was just old celebrities?
I would love
Can you
that.
imagine us doing
I would
that?
love I would
Like old
love that.
celebrities.
But you know, here's the sad thing. I was talking to some queen, and this is not a lie. I am not making this up. And I said, you know what? I really think with the right hair and the right makeup, you could do Barbara Streisand. And they looked at me and they said, who's that?
I know, that's the problem. And that's what
Barbara
you think,
Streisand?
but it's true because you also think of tickets. Who's going to come see the show
Exactly.
if the majority of the people aren't familiar with those
Right.
names?
They have no idea, but those people deserve to be honored.
But we have maybe the ability to do it and reintroduce those names. You know, there are some names I think that are still sitting around that people do know of, maybe not as actively anymore, but they're around. But I think this younger generation still knows Liza.
Yes.
And so they could be introduced to like older Liza stuff. Liza with a mullet, you know what I mean? Like that Liza.
Yeah, that Liza. That was kind of middle Liza.
Yeah, like
you know,
that.
it was like after Cabaret, but before she like
Because I even
cut
see
off all of her hair.
when we're at Fantasies, I'll see girls that I've not met before, and I'm thinking, just as you said, I'm like, oh my god, that girl would look exactly like Liza, but she doesn't know it, and I understand the sense that like, if she's not a fan of it, she might not want to do it.
Right. And that's something that people need to get over. You do not have to like the person that you're impersonating. If you look like somebody, make your money off that. Because
If you do
in
a good
this
job.
business, a lot of people have gone away from the celebrity impersonation. Every drag queen should have at least one good celebrity impersonation that they do.
Yeah.
And have that in your back pocket. Always.
It's true. It's true. And that's why, I mean, it's so hard for me because I don't want to steer away from how much I look like Pamela Anderson. But
Well,
I have to.
I've asked
have
you to
to.
do her in Fantasies so many times, and you said, I just can't get a copy of her album.
I can't get the album, and also the bathing suit. For my age, it's a little revealing.
Yeah, well, you know, but
in
you
my
still
younger
look
years-
great in it. You
Thanks,
still look great in it.
thanks.
Yeah, I'm sure you get confused for her all the time.
Next year, when we do blondes versus brunettes,
Okay,
we'll do it.
okay.
And I'll do them both at the same time because I'll be blonde and then I'll be a brunette.
Right.
I love it. Let's take a break. We are back with Philip Bailey, aka Cassie Phillips. Now, this is the part of the show we call Read Me Delta. People send in their letters. They are in quandary. They need help. They need advice. And if you want to send a letter, you can send it to readmedelta@gmail.com. Do you have advice for young people? Do you ever have people that come like at the shows?
Oh, always.
You do?
I'm constantly being asked questions.
And you tell them,
Deal with it yourself, like I had to.
fuck off. Dear Delta and sumptuous guest, lately I've been noticing a trend taking place that leaves me quite perturbed. When I'm having a conversation with someone and time gets brought up, I find that 1 out of 3 people will commit to a small yet redundant offense. For instance, I fell asleep around 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Or I have dinner plans with Rebecca at 6:15 p.m. in the evening. I have a full understanding that this is an extremely minor linguistic infraction. However, the concept of stating a.m. and p.m. and then the part of the day in succession is superfluous and frustrates me beyond all hell. Are there any linguistic quirks or common language blunders that leave you flustered? Much love, Austin.
God, I got to think about that.
There is one. And again, I think it's
I've got one.
I think it's a colloquialism.
Mhm.
But it does bug me a little bit. It's when people say, when they know when and where they were, right? And they're referring to a time. So say, I say, oh yeah, I was over at Philip's house yesterday at 4:30. But they say, whenever I was at Philip's house yesterday at 4:30. But you know when it was. So you know when it was. It doesn't matter whenever it was. You've already determined what time it is. So it's not whenever you were there. It's when you were there.
Yes.
But I could be wrong. They change the dictionary all the time, and it doesn't hurt me that much. It's just something I spot.
It's just something that you pick up on.
I cut words all the time. I use the wrong words all day long. What's one you said you had something?
On a lot of talk or a lot of game shows, they'll say, I've been married to my wife for 16 years. How about me and my wife have been together for 16 years? You've been married to your wife? Well, that's amazing.
Right.
You married your wife?
Right.
That's incredible. Why do you got to tell me that?
And you said something just now that I know is correct, and then we used to be told was not correct. They used to say that you would have to say Philip and I. But from my understanding, it's correct to say me and Philip.
Right.
But people were like, no, that sounds too homespun. It's Philip and I. But no, you can say me and Philip.
You can actually say whatever the fuck you want.
You kind of can. You can say whenever I was there at 4:30 in the afternoon getting fucked.
After I married my wife.
After I married my wife.
Yes.
I took your wife.
Yeah, that's right. I hope that answers your questions, Austin.
You know what? It doesn't. Austin's probably like, why did I write to these old queens to tell me some bullshit, to talk about Anne Margaret? Can you imagine? You know, if you did Anne Margaret, you could also do Ginger from Gilligan's Island.
Oh my
Wasn't she hot?
Yes.
Oh my God.
My God. Ginger was a perfect mix between Marilyn Monroe and Anne Margaret. That was the creation of Ginger.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I used to love like in the late 70s, early 80s when everyone had like a I don't remember what channel it was, ABC or whatever it was, but it would spin around and go boom, 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 boom. Now for a special. It'd be like the Suzanne Summers Dance Hour. And she would come out. And
oh my God.
I loved it. Everybody had it. And it's like you're not a dancer, whoever you are. I mean, maybe Suzanne Summers, but
Suzanne Summers and everybody had a variety show.
Everybody
had a variety show.
And didn't you want to be on Love Boat?
Oh my God. On the Lido deck after Julie came and helped you, and you can get a drink from Isaac, and then Gopher would come by with some kind of problem, and then you'd go see Doc.
Right.
I mean, come on. Who didn't want to? And Charo was there a lot. So you want to hang out with Charo on the Lido deck.
And it almost felt like all the celebrities were on Love Boat, but all the the infamous and sort of like maybe even edgier celebrities were a little bit later on Fantasy Island.
Yes, well, those were the darker celebrities.
The darker celebrities.
Celebrities, yes.
I loved that.
God, Fantasy Island was so wonderful. Their shows just aren't like that. Classic television is, my passion. That's like my thing.
Theme songs. There's no theme songs.
There are no theme songs. That is a problem that I have. Like, who thought about getting rid of theme songs?
Yeah.
They were the best part of the show.
This is the weirdest thing ever. But like when I go to sleep at night, sometimes I'll just go on YouTube and I'll get like caught in a rabbit hole of whatever. I was caught in a rabbit hole of theme songs, and the last one that popped on as I was like finally dozing off was the theme song from Alice, and I got so wistful.
There's a new girl in town,
I'll never forget
and she's looking good. What a great show.
It was so good.
Oh,
my sad. God. I miss that shit.
Yeah, me too.
Hi, Delta and spectacularly ravishing guests.
Hi.
See, they knew.
Yeah.
They knew.
It's me, Anne Margaret.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read it wrong. Hi, Delta and spectacularly ravishing Anne Margaret.
Yes. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
I've watched every episode of your podcast, and one thing I particularly love is when your celebrity guests bring you a gift.
Oh.
They're upset with you. What I love more is your reaction to receiving these gifts. I hate opening gifts in front of the person that gave it to me, as even if I love the gift, I worry my reaction doesn't sell them the fantasy of gift giving. How should one receive and react to getting gifts from someone if you don't like it? Lots of love, very Josh. How do you respond when people do that? Because on show day, I know people bring you stuff.
Yes, people bring me things. Here's the thing, Josh. It's Josh, right?
Josh, very
Josh,
Josh.
let me tell you something. One day people are going to stop bringing you things.
Ah.
And then what are you going to do? Appreciate every gift you get.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? Even if you throw it away afterwards, that person thought of you. Nobody
you-
thinks of me.
Do you ever re-gift?
I would never do such a thing. I have candles.
Candles,
stuff
a lot of
like
times.
that. And not ones that I burned. I'm not going to give them the burnt candles, because that's rude. But ones that I'm not going to use, ones that smell like lilac, lavender, that kind of crap. I don't use that.
You can return burnt candles to Bath and Body Works, they say.
Really?
They'll take it back. You can say, I didn't like this smell.
And then what do they do with
They
it?
throw it in the trash and they give you your money back. They give you a credit or something.
Oh, well,
What
that's good.
what is a good gift for people to give you on show day?
Peace of mind.
Well, I'm a piece of candy.
A piece of candy. I could always go for chocolate. Gummy candy. Oh my God, I love gummy candy.
If you go to C's Candy, what kind of candy do you like there? Do you like the milk chocolates? Do you like nuts and chews? Do you like?
I like the nuts and chews.
Okay.
The best. And a lot of people don't. I love coconut. I love chocolate and coconut. Like an Almond Joy is like one of the best candy bars there is. But C's Candies, get me the assortment box. I'll eat every single one. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not even one of those ones that'll take a bite. I don't like that one. You're going to waste that chocolate?
Oh,
Give it to me.
really?
Oh,
Okay.
I'll eat every single one of them.
You're a unicorn.
Yes.
You
I
are.
guess I am.
Because most people, myself included, if I don't like it, I'm like, ooh, I push it.
The nuts and chews is probably the best. Something that still lingers in your teeth after you eat it. So you got a snack for later. That's the good kind.
What's a hard gift on a show day? People mean so well, and of course you would never turn it down.
I
or
have
say
a
something
feeling I
ugly.
know what you're going to say.
It's flowers.
Flowers.
It's so lovely,
Flowers.
but then you're stuck, and you're like, I can't get to the car,
And they get smashed in all of your stuff. And these people who bothered to bring you a gift, Josh, and then it's like you kind of destroyed them.
And they spent their money and their
Yes.
time, and they meant with all their heart.
Or else you forget them. It's like there's just so much. The thought is absolutely wonderful.
Nothing's more beautiful than fresh flowers.
Yeah,
but
it's just impractical.
because especially for you, like you have 900,000 things at the show, and you're like, how am I getting this?
But I've appreciated every single flower I've gotten. Every single.
I mean, it
one of
feels
them.
special.
Oh yes,
It does feel special.
it is.
but
It's wonderful.
fuck.
But they usually end up getting left behind, or I do feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel bad about that.
Cassie Phillips doesn't want your lousy flowers.
Yeah, keep your flowers.
But you can bring candy. You can bring
Mhm.
C's Candy gift cards.
Yes,
You can
yes.
bring bottle caps.
I like fudge.
Fudge.
Fudge is good.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't fudge a delight?
Fudge is delicious.
And there's so many different kinds. I like the ones with almond.
Is there a candy shop in downtown Riverside?
Yes,
There
is.
is.
At the Mission Inn.
That's what I
there's a
thought.
candy shop.
Inside.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Maybe that's where our meal can be on show day. We could just have candy.
You know what? Why don't me and you just go and just raid
That's what we're gonna do.
the cancer? That would be so
That's
much
what we're
fun.
gonna do.
That would be so
Yeah.
much fun.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Can you imagine their shock when Pamela Anderson and
Right.
Anne Margaret walk in
Right. In a full gown and a bathing suit.
with no makeup?
Can you imagine what's going to happen at the night of the show after eating all that candy? And I go, oh, there's a little gurgle in my stomach. And there I go running across like Baywatch, but to the toilet. Right.
And
you're
it's
like,
just all
I
slow
thought
motion.
she was going to do a number. No, she's doing a number 2.
Oh, she's doing a number 2.
She's doing a number 2. And she left the door open. Why is she doing that? It's show day. Woo! And there's a shower in there too. Might as well just do it in the shower.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say I do like the theater's bathrooms. They are nice.
They
and
are
clean.
glamorous, aren't they?
They are nice.
That
and clean.
well, they redid them, and now they're super glamorous. Before they were a little skanky.
Well, remember back in the day before the whole dressing
The
room
renovation,
was done,
yeah.
and it was like a 4th grade classroom kind of with like
Yes.
low like.
Yes, it was. It's
But we
like
had
what
fun.
was there like little kids that used to do shows here?
I
Was this a
think it was.
child's theater? Of course, I have my private dressing room upstairs, but
Well, are you upstairs now? Because you've always been downstairs in the corner in the front.
Well, that was my old space. And then there was the dressing room on the other side of the stage.
Right. Who was in your spot last year in the front? I
believe Melody. Melody sings.
Melody sings.
Yes. And then behind her was Morgan, and Mayhem and you right there in that area. And then
now, what we need is to make sure nobody opens up that window because the water feature is outside and the gnats come in.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was unaware.
Need to leave that over by Mayhem's area. She can be in that spot. I'll be with Jasmine Simone.
Okay.
I'll be with Jasmine Simone.
Jasmine
Thank you
Simone.
for being here. This is so fun.
I have had an absolute blast.
I'm so grateful. This is so fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything that you do.
This is a blast. And people, I must implore you, if you do not have plans, you have to get tickets to see Fant-A-She this year at the Riverside Municipal Auditorium. What was our date again?
April 18th.
Oh, no, I have to cancel. I'm busy on that day. But Melody Sings will be standing in for you. And you will see Melody Sings as Adele this year at the Riverside Municipal Auditorium. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too.
We'll see you next week. And until then, keep things very Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Danielle Mitchell. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions. Take your semen home with you. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Mom!
Watch Very Delta uncensored, ad-free, and a day early by subscribing to Mom Plus Gold. Sign up today at mompodcast.plus for premium content, including weekly episodes of more Very Delta.